Welcome to Vegan Ultra. I'm your inspiration guide, Adam Gallus, on this epic quest for health, hope, and happiness. A quest so epic that I'm attempting to inspire my family and anyone watching this on YouTube by walking 2 marathons a week every week for a year as I lose 150 pounds on a whole food vegan diet. I've already lost 82 in 4 months, and this is part 9, explaining how that epic journey has been going, specifically how I cured my diabetes by eating as much as 31 pounds of fruit per week. To show you why, let me share with you this screen here. This, of course, is only when watermelons are in season, which is not right now, but recently, about 3 weeks ago, I ate this: 2 watermelons, 5 pounds of mandarins, 3 pounds of apples, and 3 pounds of grapes. A total of 31 pounds of fruit for just $47, a very reasonable $1.52 per pound. In total, this represents about 7,000 calories or 1,000 calories per day. Take a look at the surprising amount of protein, 14 grams per day, fiber, 21 grams per day from fruit. That's almost twice what the average American gets. Remember, 97% of Americans are deficient in fiber. So you might be thinking, wait a minute, weren't you a diabetic? Yes, I was. So how could I eat 4.5 pounds of fruit a day? Well, take a look at my most recent lab test. This is from November 1st. Hemoglobin A1C had gone from 8.2 down to 4.6. My glucose, 88, completely normal. My urea nitrogen, basically this is a test of my kidneys, is actually low because I'm so well hydrated. And you can see all the rest of my electrolytes in basically the normal range. Take a look at this though. This is the glomerular filtration rate. This is basically a test for kidney strength. Basically above 60 is good, and my tests were basically off the chart, literally just show as above 90. This means I have the kidneys of an Olympian and the liver of a teenager, which my doctor also confirmed with an ultrasound. Now, you might be wondering, how is this possible? How can diabetics eat so much fruit? Well, the answer lies in both the glycemic index and the glycemic load, which is something that most people haven't heard of. You may have heard of the glycemic index. This measures how quickly your blood sugar will spike after eating a food compared to glucose at 100 in most baseline settings. But there's also something called the glycemic load, which takes the glycemic index and multiplies it times how much sugar is actually in a serving of the food. So you can see, for example, russet potatoes, a glycemic index of 111, but there's so little sugar that it's actually 33. Well, let's look at fruit, for example. We have watermelon, 76, a high glycemic food, but glycemic load is only 8 because there's basically very little sugar in the actual watermelon. So take a look. You can see, for example, things like brown rice, 50, but only 20. We look at something like apples, 39, modest, medium glycemic index, but a glycemic load of only 60. Pears are 4, carrots basically 1, lentils, kidney beans very low, but fruit in general is between a range of 3 for berries on the low end, as high as 16 for red grapes. This is why fruit does not, in fact, cause diabetes. For some examples of this, we have the Adventist 2 study looking at Loma Linda Adventists who, for religious reasons, they don't drink, they don't smoke, they exercise every day. The only difference is diet. And you can see type 2 diabetes, 3% versus 7.6% for the omnivores. And remember, this is basically blue zone living with meat, still 7.6% diabetes rates, about 60% less likely in vegans. But okay, what about actual studies? We have a meta-analysis looking at 23 different studies looking at the correlation between vegetables, fruit alone, various combinations, and diabetes. You can see combined is about 7% less diabetes. Now, for fruit alone, it came in between 8% and 0. So essentially, they found that there is slightly inverse relationship between eating fruit and diabetes. So remember, diabetes not caused by blood sugar. It's primarily caused by insulin resistance from fat building up in your muscle tissues and your liver. Now, let me show you just some more studies here. This is a famous study from Dr. Barnard. Look, comparing treatment of type 2 diabetics between an American Diabetes Association ADA recommended diet and a whole food vegan diet low in oils. A1C fell 1.2% in the vegan group. This is actually larger. This is the largest impact ever seen in any study. In fact, it's basically a larger impact than even drug medications such as metformin, compared to 0.4% on the ADA diet. Look at this body weight. They lost about 15 pounds compared to 7 pounds on the ADA diet. LDL cholesterol, the bad kind that raises your risk of heart attacks and death, 21% reduction versus 11% reduction. And overall, you can see a far superior impact on diabetes. And we have, of course, one more study, famous one from Dr. Barnard. Now, he's done over 200 at the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine over the decades, the GEICO study. Now, if we zoom in on that, we can also see this was, of course, the GEICO company did a randomized study across the country with various employees. Body weight fell 3 kilos versus 0.1, so a lot more. A1C also fell 0.6 versus 0.1, very significant. LDL, the total cholesterol falling 14 points and versus 1, and LDL falling about significantly more as well, and also statistically significant, and this is an 18-week period. So there you go. Diabetes not caused by fruit, not caused by sugar. It is primarily insulin resistance caused by intracellular fat. And this is how I was able to cure my diabetes, by eating an epic amount of fruit, as much as 31 pounds in 1 week. Now, of course, you might be thinking, all right, so fruit, vegan Hot Pockets, and soup. That's what I'm eating. Must be easy and simple. Well, no, tomorrow in part 10, I will share with you basically how I ran into some major problems in my weight loss journey, a problem that many people trying to get healthy will also face, and how I overcame it with the help of a whole food vegan diet and lots of support, as well as my AI life coach. Until then, please subscribe to this channel, like this video on YouTube to help other people find it, and consider friending me on Facebook, where I have a lot more incredible information about the medical benefits of a Blue Zone vegan diet. Remember, this has helped me to lose 82 pounds in 4 months while becoming the healthiest, happiest version of myself. Literally, my doctor calls it science-based magic and nutrition-fueled sorcery, and this is something that can help almost anyone become the best and happiest version of themselves, and even create their own personal utopia.